Hey everyone, it's Nicole again. So I'm still working through my grandma's collection of books, reading those. I don't have any finished yet, so I can't make you a review on that, but I have decided to make you a review on a book or a series that I almost completed. If you haven't guessed by the title, I'm not very happy with it, so let's start in on my review of Twilight and the Twilight series. Um, so brief back history. Growing up, I've always been the kid that loves reading, and I haven't really found many people to talk with me about my love for reading. So whenever I found that there was a mass cult kind of hit book that everyone was reading, like per se Harry Potter, I felt the need to check it out because, if everyone else suddenly who doesn't like to read is actually reading, it must be good. So, also too, in junior high up through high school, I enjoyed vampire books. I was into the supernatural, werewolf stories, vampire stories, kinds of stuff like that. I would totally go for. Again, I remember in seventh grade, not second, oops, seventh grade, I remember going to the library and sneakily going to the adult section and taking out Stephen King's Salem's Lot because I was curious and I'd heard about it. And my mom found out later, and she was like, "You be careful, you're going to have nightmares." And I read it, and it was like my little act of rebellion. I'm a nerd, let's be real. So, when Twilight came out, everyone started reading it. It was either freshman to junior-ish year of high school, the book started coming out. So, everyone was reading it, and they were in love, and they loved Edward, and they loved Bella, and I was like, guess I'll have to check it out. So, I read the first book. Was not that impressed. Not gonna lie. I tried. I was like, okay, maybe the second book. Second book gets better. Maybe that's what it is. Read the second book. It did not get better. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It did not get better. And so I read the third book, and I was like, okay, last chance. $4. And just didn't win. Couldn't do it. And so I didn't read the fourth book. So I know that people are probably gonna attack me for that already. You didn't read the fourth book. You can't say. Sorry, 3 out of 4 books in my mind out of the series. If you read that many and you still can't do it, just don't bother. Time to move on to a book you'll actually enjoy. So, I gave up, and then the movies came out, and I've seen, I think the first 2 movies. My mom actually enjoys them, so that kind of hurts, but I watched the movies with one of my friends who enjoys making fun of the movies, and, so I've seen books, well, I've read the books, seen the movies. Doesn't make it better. Doesn't make it better. So let's start with some things of why I do not like Twilight. In the beginning, Bella, you have this girl who's kind of awkward. She moves in, parents get divorced. She decides to live with her father. Whatever. Okay, background. And she meets this guy, and she falls in love with him, like, really fast. And then she finds out he's a 300-year-old vampire. Now, let's take that scenario, and if that happened to you, I think in real life everyone would go, what? First of all, you're a vampire. Second of all, you're 300 years old. I need to step back now because this is a little weird and this is kind of pedophilic. Just saying. And, Bella's kind of like, what are you? You're a vampire. You're 300. And then she's like, okay, I like you. Let's do it. Really? That fast? You're just like, I don't care. I love him. I love him. It's okay. Granted, maybe if that happened to me in real life, in the end I'd be like, I still love him, it doesn't matter. But I would take a little more time than she took to really think out my options here. You're getting married to a 300-year-old dead guy. Okay? He's dead. He's dead. But you do you, girl, you do you. Moving on. Number 2, which is actually the biggest thing that bothers me with Twilight on just a regular, I know something about vampires standpoint. He sparkles? Really? Like vampires sparkle in the sunlight? No! Vampires can't go out in the sunlight. They die. They burn. No, we just sparkle. I'm sorry, but first of all, no. Vampires don't do that. Second of all, really? Edward Cullen, he's such a manly man, sparkling in the sunlight. No. I'm sorry, I can't. That's ridiculous. The whole family just sparkles in the sun. Seriously. No. Moving on, now, of course, because can't spend forever on that. Another issue I had that is pretty big is the whole relationship they have. You have to think about this. They meet, and Edward's first like, stay away from me, and then he gives in, and he's like, be with me, then he's like, Bella, no, stay away from me, and he just abandons her. Okay. It's a teenage relationship, at least on Bella's side. So if your boyfriend abandons you, and you thought you were in love with him, but you weren't even dating for a year, I get that people today are more likely to say I love you faster than they probably would have back then. Come on. You're not gonna die. I know it's rough, but you're not gonna die, I promise. So Bella is just torn up, and the second book just watches her. I mean, literally, there's a scene in the second book where she just sits in a window and all the seasons pass by her. Can we talk about that? That's an issue? No. No, I'm sorry. But her dad should have probably been like, she needs help. Should have seen a therapist. She needs to get over it. This is not healthy. Obviously, it's not a healthy relationship if he leaves you and you're just completely broken inside. I get that, you know, if you're in a long-term relationship and you guys break up, you feel like your world's ending, but you're gonna live. There's someone better out there for you. But really? The way Bella's acting? And then the whole second book, she's skydiving or whatever, or she's jumping off cliffs to see a glimpse of Edward's face telling her not to do it. Can we talk about how disturbing that is? Also how abusive their whole relationship can be because of that. If he's done something to her that by the time he leaves, she's shattered completely to that point where she almost has to kill herself to just see him and think that she's going to be okay, that's not a good relationship. I'm sorry, like, that's abusive and that's terrifying. I can't get behind that. Let's be real. So, there's that. And then, of course, our lovely friend Jacob steps in. I like Jacob. I don't like Twilight, whatever, but if I had to pick a team, it'd be Team Jacob all the way. So I really enjoyed the second book for that much. But it kills me that Bella feels the need to lead him on again, even though we all know she's going to be with Edward. Let's be real. Nobody had to guess that. It's pretty plain to see. I feel bad for him, but I guess in the way he wins because he gets her daughter and freaks everyone out. But that's also really creepy. So, you know, there's that whole thing, and then he comes back. And let's talk about this. He comes back and talks suddenly about how he can't be without her and how he needs her, and he wants to get married. Stop right there. Bella's one issue is because of her parents' divorce, I think. She doesn't want to get married. That's completely understandable. It's 2014. You don't have to get married. Technically, you've never had to get married. It doesn't matter. She's a woman who doesn't want to get married. She just wants a lifelong partner. And I can understand that. You know, sometimes people contemplate that and go, that seems better than getting married. And so she wants that. And one of the things that she wants to have sex. It's understandable as well. People do that. And Edward sees this one thing that Bella wants and talks about, and he goes, sex after the marriage. But she doesn't want marriage. That's not fair. That is not fair. You know? And she has this one thing, and he just persuades her that she doesn't actually need that. Nope, nope. You can have sex after marriage. One thing that she wanted, poof, doesn't matter. Because Edward, in the end, always gets what he wants. Really? Not cool. Relationships are a two-way street, people. It's called compromise. Besides, can't you tell how much she's in love with him? She probably would have married him in the end. She couldn't have what she wanted first? Guess not. So that leads to the final book. They get married, everything's happy, and then she immediately gets pregnant. Edward freaks out. Well, maybe. Maybe you should have thought about that. They have a baby. It's weird. She grows up really fast. Jacob likes her. It's all a little creepy. Basically, to tie up the whole book, it's a little creepy. I'm sorry, but this is not a vampire story. It's not a vampire love story, really, either. It's an abusive relationship with supernatural effects. Can't support it. So that's my beef with the Twilight series. I'm sure you have plenty of ideas of your own. Feel free to comment below and let me know what you're thinking, or message me and tell me. I'm sure people hate the video I just made. People like the video I just made. Who knows? But as a book reviewer, in my opinion, 2 books already that I can think of off the top of my head. If you like vampires, 1, check out Salem's Lot. I would call it the original. Stephen King, Salem's Lot, great. And if you'd like a vampire series story, you should check out Vampire Academy. I don't have the name of the author off the top of my head, but I do know that they recently just made a video with Sarah Hyland from Modern Family and some other cool girls. I can't remember. But Vampire Academy, you should definitely check that series out. I think it's pretty good. It also has some love story going on in there, so all those people that need the vampire romance, it's in there. So that is all I have for today. I hope to get another video out to you soon. But until then, keep reading, and have a great day. Bye.